Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Leo. If Leo is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. Okay, and so Leo, our card tonight is the 9 of Cups, which has everything to do with happiness. Yeah, I'm not sad to see that. Quite the opposite, actually. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look. And so if you haven't subscribed yet, please think about doing that. Or if you want to hit the like button or leave a comment, I would love to hear from you. We're coming up on the equinox here pretty soon, in a few days. And yeah, I'm just interested in knowing what are you going to do? What is your plan? Do you have a special tradition? Is there some kind of event that you are going to be partaking in? Is it just another day for you? Yeah, I understand that. There have been a couple of equinoxes where I looked at the calendar and I thought, oh, geez, it was the equinox a couple days ago. All right, so we have this wild beast of a dog over here. Oh no, I dropped my stick. What? I'm gonna use my secret lizard over here. He sits in front where you can't see him, but I can see him. And so let's see. We have, what is going on there? Okay, so we have in here, we have the lizard right in here. No, I'm not gonna use I also have a knife over here. A ceremonial dagger, if you will. Okay, so right in here, we have the dog. I'm just gonna use my finger. You can see its mouth is wide open, barking. Ah! Yeah, it looks a little vicious. Now we look down here, we also see we have, it looks like 2 people and a dog in the middle. Okay. We have a person here holding a candle, but it's covered. So it's a secret light. That's interesting. A secret illumination, a mystery, a secret sub rosa, right? A hidden thing, a hidden truth, a hidden bit of knowledge, understanding, wisdom. We also have a person here running. So I feel, yeah, there's kind of it feels frantic, if I'm going to be honest with you. Kind of a frantic energy. Not so much anger, but heart, drive. You can almost think of like a football team, right? When they're getting all gassed up, ready to go. They're maybe practicing or whatever, and they're yelling at each other and they're hitting their, padding or whatever, and their chests and getting ready to, go off into battle. And I feel like this is kind of the energy. You are not really, I don't think battle so much. I don't think there's a conflict here. But I feel like you just have this like real revival of energy, of passion, of a want to create, to connect, to express yourself. That's the big thing, expressing yourself. And I can imagine, right? Now this dog looks vicious, but I also think of like, those videos of like, a soldier coming home after, a year of deployment, and they open the door and the dog goes, at first it's like, what's going on? And then it goes wild. Mommy's home. Daddy's home, after all this time. And I feel like, you know, there's almost kind of this excitement, this thing that you want to do. And I feel like it's in partnership because we have the two other people. Everybody close together. I wonder if this is like your family unit. Maybe a spouse or a significant other, maybe your children. But there is a real sense of coming together and working on something. And I just feel you like you want to get going now, right? And we also have, it looks like GRW. I don't know. That maybe is initials possibly. Or maybe it's like grow. Now you can see we also have the person here who's kind of on the horse, right? On the horse with, what is that called? A jousting, what is that called? I was going to say a gavel. No, that's for the court. The jousting spike. I don't know. Do you know what that's called? If you do, tell me. So we have that. We also have another person over here who looks like they're being struck by it. Okay. It also looks like their horse has fallen off. So there is some aspect of competition. Okay. Which doesn't surprise me. We're talking about a Leo, of course. You all are quite competitive in the right context, right? In the right circumstances. And yeah, this one feels like this is it's almost like being not just in competition with like your brother or sister, but the whole family, right? And I could see, I kind of get this impression, and I want to get our oracle cards ready. I get this impression that whatever you chose to do, maybe for going to school or whatever kind of career path that you went into, your family maybe was supportive, but didn't or don't fully understand what you're doing. I feel like this is a topic that comes up a lot, especially if you like went to school and you got any kind of degree and then you ended up not really using it, right? Or, I mean, you use it to some extent, maybe to get a job or whatever, but you're not necessarily working within the field that you studied. That's the impression that I get. And there's constantly kind of this pressure, I feel like, you know, what are you doing? When are you gonna like start doing what you've always wanted to do? When are you gonna start this project? When are you gonna, you know, quit that job that you have and go find a real job or a real career? You know, the kind of things that our family says to us. And I don't think it's that they necessarily are being like cruel, but it can feel that way, right? They might even think they're being like a motivator. But I think for you, it just really puts you in a place of like, yeah, feeling like one of these days I'm going to show them, right? I'm going to really do something and then it'll just absolutely quiet them all down. And I feel like this is that time. Like things are coming together and you're doing something, you're beginning something that you are proud of. Okay. Now let's go ahead. I'm going to do these Oracle of the Radiant Sun Oracle cards and we're going to pick 3 of them. I just kind of want to see what this next little period of time is going to show us. Okay. Flirtation. Ooh, so you have some amorous stuff floating around in the air, right? So there is maybe a little bit of interest, attraction, flirtation, restlessness. Yeah, that makes sense. That's that frantic energy we were talking about. Influence. Okay. Now, I'm going to do 2 more because I want a little bit more here. I want to see, where are we going here? I wonder if you have a muse. It feels like a muse has emerged maybe, and that might be that influence. Fortune, devotion. Okay, yeah. So I really, yes, I feel like this is, maybe it's a person, maybe it's like a stream of energy, of consciousness, of ideas, of inspirations, whatever it is. It is flowing through your life. You are in love. You're in love. You're infatuated. And it is. It's influencing you. It is getting those creative juices flowing. And yeah, I do. I feel like there's a little bit of restlessness, definitely. But yeah, this is going to be one of the big things of your life, ultimately. Now, it might not seem like that as you are working on it. It might just be like, oh, I'm, you know, I don't know. Maybe you're like a local rapper and you're putting out your new, this is how old I am. You're putting out your new tape, your new mixtape, you know, whatever. It's something that maybe doesn't seem like, oh, this is going to change my whole life. Everything is going to be looking up, but it does. Once you get into it, I feel like there's going to be a lot of understanding of where you should be going, where you should be focusing your intention or your attention and intentions. But also kind of seeing more clearly the options that you have, the different doorways that are there for you. And which ones are you going to choose? Right? Which direction are you going? Now, I feel that there is kind of this place where it clicks, right? Now, for my example of this, and you know I love to share my own take on things, my own little experiences. This really feels like what it felt like for me to begin reading tea leaves and actually recording them, right? Now, I read tea leaves before, long before I started doing, you know, private readings, and then I got into doing the YouTubes and stuff. But taking a chance to do it in a different medium, right? Recording, doing general readings, which that was a huge change. Doing a general reading is a lot different than doing a personal reading. And I tap into a lot of different energies when I'm doing general readings because it's, you know, there's a lot of input coming from all directions. Whereas a personal reading is maybe it's more potent in some ways, but it's also very much like in one little space, right? I'm looking at this space right here. General readings, like little things come in from everywhere. But my devotion to the art is undying now. I don't imagine a time when I will ever stop reading tea leaves, you know, God willing, right? I will continue on till the end of ends, right? Till it's all over. But I feel like this is kind of like your thing. You're finding your thing. And maybe it is that you already knew what it was, but now you are incorporating this old education, skill set, passion, whatever, into this new project, this new career, this new work, this new, you know, spiritual journey that you're on. And the muse is there with you. We have that muse, and it brings you fortune, and it brings you, yeah, a undying devotion. All right. I don't know why I picked those up. I'm not done. We're not done yet. We also have an owl. We have a question mark. The owl is the wise one, the watcher, the viewer, the observer. We have a question. What is our question? We have a face here that looks pretty stern. We also have a clam. I feel like this is a masculine energy, feels older, maybe grandfather, father-in-law, father, older brother, somebody, boss, I don't know. But you clam up when you're around them. This is the one person in your life that you get around and you feel like a child again, right? And I don't know if they do that on purpose. Maybe this is how they deal with people. They, you know, kind of that old school, I'm on top of the, you know, I'm the one on top of the pyramid here. Everybody beneath me, basically children, right? And I don't think that you like this energy. You don't like this dynamic at all. But I see that we have a fish kind of, it looks like swimming away from that clam right there. So the fish is resources, money, all of that. But it could also really be a symbol of somebody who is in their power, right? Who is making that money, who is, you know, making something happen in their life. And so I feel like for you, it's like I'm cutting off this energy. I'm not getting involved in these conversations. We are not going to discuss my life, what I'm doing, what you think of that, what you think I ought to be doing. I'm setting a boundary here. Because every time I come around this energy, it throws me off my game. It gets me into a place where I'm really questioning myself. I'm really feeling like I don't know what the heck I'm doing. And that's not the vibe. That's not what you're looking for. I don't feel like you're a person that, like, you know how people like get into that like tough love mode, or like that drill sergeant, like, or you know, like when people are like working out and they do like those boot camp type of things and they're like yelling at you and, you know, I don't know, maybe like saying things that are unkind to motivate. You're not a person that reacts well to that. I am not either. I'll cry. Straight up. Cry. I remember when I first went to, I went to rehab. I'm in recovery. And there was this dude. He was like a counselor or something. He was maybe, I don't know, you know, in his like late 50s. He seemed like a pretty chill guy, I guess. But he would get into this mode of like, I don't know if he just had dealt with a lot of like really sensitive, well, of course, when you're working with people who are in recovery, in drug abuse or, you know, alcohol abuse or whatever, a lot of stuff going on in their lives, you know, that's obvious. But he seemed very affected by whatever he had been dealing with. And so I had to go in and see him, sit down and talk to him and whatever, like a check-in kind of deal. And he came with this energy, you know. I'm like trying to talk to him and tell him and whatever. And he's like, well, you have to, you know, whatever. He was like, I immediately just started crying because I don't respond. I don't want people to be unkind to me. You know, who does? But for me, it's not a motivator. It feels like I'm being attacked, right? Like it gets me in that fight or flight place. And I remember him being very soft after that. Very kind after that. We talked and actually became friends. After I still, you know, talk to the guy once in a while. Well, I'm sure I'm not going to dox him, but I used to see him at meetings and stuff like that. So, oftentimes if you work in, recovery, rehabs, that kind of thing, you are often in recovery yourself, right? We're the only people that can deal with other addicts usually. So I look at this and it feels familiar, right? It makes me think like, yeah, this is a situation where, yeah, you don't respond to people treating you poorly, you know, like being hard with you. Like that's not going to motivate you to do more or do better. All it does is it drives a deeper wedge between the two of you, and you avoid this contact, right? And so I feel like in this situation there is kind of this desire to be able to do something with your life that is respected, gets them off your back ultimately, but also that you truly are proud of. You know, there's nothing wrong with being proud of yourself and having a little bit of pride. And nobody thrives more when they're in a place of pride than a Leo. And so I feel like it's not a bad thing to set those boundaries. Give yourself the space. And, you know, maybe as you start to feel a little bit stronger and you have a little bit more clout, you have a little, you know, something going, I could see you definitely going and having a conversation. Now, will that change this person? Probably not. Will it change how they talk to you? Maybe. It's not a guaranteed thing. But I could see that, you know, it might be something that you have to say for your own well-being. You know, I love you, but I don't like how you talk to me. You know, I don't like it. It doesn't make me feel good. It doesn't make me feel comfortable. It is not something that is helpful. You know, I am thankful, I'm grateful that you spend the time to commune with me and that you're even considering my situation. But this is not it. This energy does not work for me. Right? And it's as simple as that. As simple as that. It's also very difficult. It's hard to tell somebody that, especially if it's somebody that, you know, it's like a dad or whatever. Okay, let's go ahead. We're going to do our gratitude cards. I'm going to flip through. We're going to stop where it feels right. Solar radiance. I'm a child of light. I give thanks for the sun's life-giving rays, which illuminate me and bathe me in warmth. My bones are strengthened, and my circadian rhythm is aligned in radiant presence of the celestial orb. I like that. I'm going to call that. Oh, the celestial orb is out. Let's see. Practice. Step outside and soak in the sun's empowering light. Absorb its energy and let it refuel your cells. And let it refuel your cells. Yes, I feel like I want to go out and just sleep in the sun for a few hours. I don't know what it is. The older I get, the change in weather, I feel like I'm freezing. It's like it's gone down about 10 degrees here during the day, and my feet are cold. I'm like, where are my big socks at? It's almost winter now. I'm so cold. But yes. All right, Leo, I love you. I thank you. I thank you. If you haven't subscribed yet, think about doing that. Liking the video, leaving a comment. I'd love to hear from you. Absolutely. Let me know about your equinox, what you have going on, or if you're not really even going to do anything, what you would like to do, right? What are your dreams? What is the perfect ceremony, the perfect feast? Yeah, I think that's it. So I love you. I love you. I love you. Take care of yourself. We're going to talk in a few days. Good night.